minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you to our witnesses today, shedding some light on this most important topic. I'm a career businessman. I'm used to getting things done. When I go back to my district in Iowa, citizens say, you know, that's really nice, these oversight hearings. It's great you're pointing out waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government, but whatever gets done, whatever gets done. So I'm here to ask you a few of those type of questions. I've heard a recurring theme today. Same message, both sides of the aisle, perhaps stated in different ways. I'd like to ask each of you, what have you heard today? What are you going to take away from this hearing today? Ambassador Bond, can you summarize for me?
Yes, sir. What I have heard is a clear message from this committee, both sides of the aisle, that this is a critical issue, that members want to see more effort focused on getting results, getting people out of the country who are subjects of final order of removal, and that you want us to use every tool at our disposal to make that happen.
Mr. Ragsdale.
I would completely agree with that summary, and I would also add and thank the committee for bringing this hearing and your voice to this important issue. I will tell you on behalf of the law enforcement men and women of ICE, there is nothing we would like to do more than remove every single person we can who is the subject of a final order, particularly criminal aliens. Most
Every citizen of this country agrees with what you just said. Now, as the businessman in me, what is going to be done? I think you've got the message. That's good to hear. A, now what's the action plan? What's going to happen? Anything? Or is it just going to be a hearing and that's it? Nothing's going to change.
Sir, as Mr. Ragsdale has pointed out, it helps us in our efforts that we are able to point out to these countries that this is an issue that is receiving attention and priority broadly, not only in the executive branch, but also in Congress, and that they have got to deliver. They have got to show actual results and not just promise that they're definitely, positively, absolutely going to do things differently. And so we are in regular communication with, especially with the countries on this list, but with all of them, And we will make it clear we have to see results. We do have commitments from these countries that we will, but we will be making it clear if we don't, then Congress is looking for examples of every tool being employed, and we are going to have to comply with that, obviously, and working with ICE, because this is a joint operation. This is a good example of the kind of issue that requires diplomatic and law enforcement and the combined effort of more than one agency, and we are a strong team working on this issue.
Mr. Ragsdale.
Again, I completely concur.
What's going to be done?
There's two things we're going to do. We're going to continue to refine the model so we make the most persuasive case we possibly can from the analytical tool that I talked about to make it clear when countries are in fact recalcitrant. So we're going to arm the State Department with the best information possible. The other thing we're doing is we are expanding our overseas footprint so we are not completely relying on the diplomatic side, but where there's law enforcement to law enforcement connectivity in countries where we can work with state and local governments shoulder to shoulder when we work with them on many other topics to try to get travel documents. So there's a partnership both here and we're going to work abroad to get action.
I'm frustrated because the statistic on my paper says since 2011, 13,511 criminal aliens have been released back into American communities. This isn't rocket science. I know we're dealing with other countries. Americans want action. They're behind you. They want you to do this. They're behind you. I don't know if the administration is at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, but the American people are behind you. They want action. 13,511 have been released back into American communities. We need action. Not just hearings, we need action. I'd like to have a follow-up hearing on this to see what action has taken place 6 months from now. And why hasn't this action taken place in the last 5 years? We all would agree it's not rocket science. 13,511. Why? Where's the holdup? Where's the block at? What is stopping each of you and your departments, your agencies, from doing exactly what you heard here today and what you profess to agree with? What has been the blockage? Tell me, so we can remove it. Let's be honest. Tell me.
This is a difficult situation. We are dealing with countries, all of them, and specifically with ones that consistently have a pattern of failing to step up and do everything that they can do on their side. We are pushing them for action. When we are seeing results, we keep pushing so that they'll keep moving in that direction. But we have heard you loud and clear that the committee believes that using every possible tool has got to be something that is a real threat, and that people don't think, oh yeah, there they go again, raising that, but that they know that we will do it if we aren't seeing the cooperation that they are obliged to provide under international law.
Mr. Ragsdale.
So briefly, I'll simply say this is pressure that has been brought to bear over the course of years, and while it may not have included visa sanctions, the charter flight to India, the charter flight to Africa that I mentioned earlier on are successes from groundwork that was laid over the last couple of years. So we will hear you loud and clear on using every option, and we'll work together to do it.
I implore you to take this message today back to your agencies, and my time has expired. Thank you for your insights.
Gentleman yields back, and the chair now recognizes the gentleman from Virginia, Mr. Connolly, for 5 minutes.